Okay, and we're off. So it is Tuesday morning, January 7th? And I'm on my way to Georgia. I have depositions tomorrow. So one of my experts on a medical malpractice case, my liability expert, is having his deposition taken. So we're traveling to his home his office in Georgia. The lawyers for the hospital and the insurance company and fund will be traveling as well to basically question him about his opinions in this case, how he reached them, all that kind of stuff. So it's one of the things that I do enjoy about medical malpractice cases, even though I don't do very many of them, is I do enjoy being able to get out and travel a little bit. It's becoming less and less common to travel since COVID, which is great. I mean, we can do so many things remotely. But my experience is that the insurance companies and defense lawyers for doctors and hospitals are still of kind of the older mindset that they need to be sitting in the same room, sitting across the table, staring in the eyes of the witness. And so they tend to take pretty much all witnesses in person, which is becoming less and less common in civil litigation. I've got for example, I've got a trucking accident case where we've got medical experts, accident reconstructionists, trucking safety experts, and these ones are pretty much in the Midwest area, but they're in different states, and all of those depositions so far have been done by Zoom, and I imagine the rest of them will be as well. But medical malpractice, for better or for worse, they feel like they need to be sitting in the same room as the deponent, but they don't videotape them, which I find interesting. One of the reasons I like Zoom depositions is you save a lot of money doing a Zoom deposition because you don't have to travel. Like, I'm going to be out of the office for 3 days, airline travel, hotel for 2 nights, rental car, all that is the cost of doing depositions in person, plus just the loss of productivity of doing the stuff that I could be doing in my office. So it's expensive to do, both for the client and the lawyer, to do depositions in person. And then what they'll do is, when the deposition is done, they will report back to their insurance company, to the hospital, to the doctor, and basically give their impressions of how the witness did, how credible he is, how reliable his opinions are, where the possible lines of attack are, weaknesses, things like that. Which doesn't really make sense to me anymore, because that was all necessary back before it was even common to videotape depositions, and certainly before Zoom became a thing. Now I don't think there's any reason to do that. There's a far more benefit, I think, to taking depositions by Zoom and then recording them. The money you save by not having to travel, you can more than easily justify the cost of the deposition being recorded, and then you can actually show your client, show your adjuster, show a mediator, whoever you eventually need to present this to, actual video clips of the witness during their deposition. Why you wouldn't videotape depositions is completely beyond me, but that just tends to be, that's just not how medical malpractice cases are still litigated, the very few that still exist. So anyway, I'm going to bring you along for the journey. I'm on my way to Madison, so I have about a 2-hour drive to Madison. I'm not going to get there super extra early. I had to drop my kids off at school, but I'm heading to Madison. Going to fly from Madison to Atlanta, and then a short flight from there down to the part of Georgia where the deposition is taking place. And then the deposition isn't until tomorrow afternoon, so I'm going to have quite a bit of time just trying to do other things at the hotel, and then I'll fly back early Thursday morning. It would have been nice to be able to catch a flight back on tomorrow night, but because the doctor's deposition is sort of late in the day, there was a really good chance I was going to miss that flight. Okay, well, I'm back in Madison, back in Wisconsin. It seems like it's been a long day already. So the last few days, I've been in Albany, Georgia for depositions of an expert witness on one of my cases. Actually, everything went pretty good overall. We flew into Atlanta. The two defense lawyers left from Milwaukee. I flew in from Madison, and then we actually took the same flight down to Albany, which is a short flight from Atlanta. It's like a 2.5, 3 hour drive if you drove. And so we went down on Tuesday, had the deposition yesterday, which is Wednesday, and then we were all supposed to take the same flight back early this morning. We were supposed to have a 6:30 a.m. flight. I actually had a rental car when I was down there, so I offered to give everyone a ride to the airport with me. And then about 9:30 p.m. last night, we all got text messages saying our flight this morning was canceled. And the next flight out wasn't until noon. And so I wasn't going to get back to Wisconsin until late in the afternoon. So we made a quick decision. I said, how about we all just drive to Atlanta? I've got a car. We'll drive to Atlanta. It was about a 2 3/4 hour drive. So that's what we decided to do. I picked them up from their hotel at 4:30 this morning. Did not sleep well last night. Didn't even have time to get coffee from the hotel because they didn't have any coffee out yet. And drove up this morning to Atlanta, and that actually went pretty well. Got into Atlanta. They were able to get their flight issues fixed on the way up. I was driving and I didn't want to deal with that on the phone, so I waited until I got to Atlanta, which was apparently a mistake. But got to the Delta ticket desk, and took a while, but they got me. They had already automatically bumped me to a later flight out of Atlanta, and I said, can I get on my original flight, the one I'm supposed to be on? And I don't know why it was so difficult to do that, but they did do that. But it didn't leave me a lot of time. So I then went through security, had my bag get run through twice, which was adding time. Got to the gate literally as they were boarding. Had time to run over to the vending machine and get myself a energy drink. Otherwise, I had no chance to eat breakfast or anything this morning. So yeah, so that was a bit hectic. I was a little bit nervous about driving up this morning, only because I did not sleep well at all last night, and I wasn't sure how drowsy I would get. But we actually had some pretty good conversation on the way up, which is kind of nice. I mean, we're on opposing sides of a case. We're both trying to win for our clients, but we're still we're still colleagues at the end of the day, and so it's nice to be able to work together with other lawyers. I got them out of a jam by having a rental car, and they appreciated it. So that's the kind of stuff you have to do. I'm a big believer in not burning bridges and treating other people fairly and whatever, and just kindness I just find to be well worth it, even when you're dealing, or maybe especially when you're dealing with the opposing attorneys and parties and things like that. So that's so I've been going for quite a while now, and happy to be back in Wisconsin. I'm going to swing over to Iowa on my way back and meet with a couple of clients, and then go home and spend some time with my family. So appreciate you guys watching the video. Until next time, everyone, have a good one.